Hey team, I'm Crystal, and today we're going to take a look at how to perform a switch lunge. So this is what it looks like. One, two, three, and so on. So when we break this down, benefits of our exercise. High metabolic demand, full body integration. The way that we're going to start is we're going to set up by bringing our feet about shoulders distance apart, the end of the mat, stacking the ribs above our hips, bracing our belly tight, and then rolling our shoulders away from our ears, opening our chest. We're going to lift hands to the sky, bringing our biceps to our ears, and then we're going to lift one leg, either just keeping the heel lifted and the ball of the foot on the floor, or we can lift our knee all the way above our waistline. From here, the lifted leg is going to step us back, planting our wrists under our shoulders, and now we're going to step that front foot back, the opposite leg forward, and we're going to step that back leg in, touching down, and then we're going to lift that leg nice and high, knee above our waistline, or whatever's good for us today, and that is one rep. We're then going to step that lifted leg back, forward, touch, lift, and that is 2 reps. And so on, just continuing to alternate sides here, and we count it every rep as every time that we come up and stand tall at the top, lifting the knee. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, not on each side. Our common faults in this exercise. The first big one is as we gain momentum in the movement and we come up in the switch lunge, we tend to lean back. And what this does is not only are we losing the muscular activation in the target areas from the work that we're putting in, but we're now putting a high amount of load and stress on our lumbar and thoracic spine, which can lead to back injury. So when we come up at the top, we want to make sure that we're squeezing our belly tight, we're stacking our hips under our ribs, and we have really good posture here. We're not leaning away, creating that excessive stress. We're actually protecting and strengthening everything by standing tall and doing it correctly every single rep. The other big common fault that I tend to see here is as we come down, instead of bringing our wrists flat to the ground, we come up here onto our fingertips. And what this can do is, especially when we're brand new to this exercise, it can put a lot of stress on our wrists, and this could lead to wrist injury. By bringing our hands flat as we perform the rep, and we're getting used to that stress, and we're getting used to the movement, we're going to protect the wrist joint, and we're going to make it stronger. And then much later on in our training program, when we start to add elements like speed and maybe take those higher or advanced level options, we can then explore changing up the hand placement, but only when it's appropriate for our training program and our fitness level. Our progression and regression strategies are going to be based off a couple of different things. So the first one is going to be the height of your knee in your starting position. So the lower this is to the earth, the less challenging this is going to be when we talk about a stability and a balance challenge, as well as creating just a little bit more strength through the target areas. And the higher it is, the deeper we're going to engage, the deeper or higher level challenge is going to be. If you find that even on the ground here, this is still really challenging for you, we can absolutely find assistance in a wall or a chair, and now just simply holding on, stepping back, stepping in, holding onto the wall, and coming up, and just using that wall or chair for assistance every time we come up in our switch lunge until we build the strength and conditioning levels required to no longer need it. So a lot of ways we can change it up so we can still get through it, getting those similar muscular benefits without that additional intensity. The next way we can progress or regress this exercise is going to be on the range of the step. So once we know where the knee needs to be when we step back, the bigger the step, the lower we stay in our legs here. This is going to determine the muscle fiber activation and the challenge that we bring into our lower body. So the lower that we can stay, the more fire and sensation we're going to bring into the legs. So if you want less, we can make this step a little bit shorter, and that's definitely going to decrease that sensation and that intensity. So different ways we can play with that as well. Once you have good knee placement and range and good foot placement and range in the step back or in the lunge, we can then manipulate intensity by accelerating our movements. So we can do this by just moving faster, in and out, or we can start to add a little cardio kick by adding a little switch in our legs at the bottom, and then doing that side to side. And that's definitely going to give us the benefit of improving cardiorespiratory health or heart and lung fitness. The final way that we can challenge the body at a higher level here is once we have great technique, great range, good speed, we can add an additional stability and balance challenge. And the way we do that is instead of touching down, we're just gonna stand up at the top. So pulling the knee all the way through, just making the abs work a little bit harder as we stand tall at the top. And that is how to perform a switch lunge.